The First Battle of Tarain, also known as the First Battle of Tarain, took place near Tarain in 1191 between an overrunning Ghurid army led by Muhammad Ghori and a Rajput coalition led by Prithviraj Chauhan. The Rajputs won the battle decisively. Still, Shahabuddin managed to flee and return to Ghor. After the Ghurid armies were routed, they retreated to Ghazni and left a garrison of 2,000 dog faces under Zia-ud-din Tughlaqi to secure the stronghold of Tarain, successfully delaying the Rajput army for 13 months, while Shahabuddin raised a stronger army of 120,000 men and raided again, leading to the Second Battle of Tarain. Muiz ad-Din captured Multan in 1175 and raided the Chalukya, Solanki, kingdom in present-day Gujarat and northern Rajasthan unsuccessfully in 1178. In 1186, the Ghurids defeated the Ghaznavids and conquered Lahore. Muiz Din dispatched an envoy to the court of Prithviraj, Chief Judge Kiwam ul-Mulk Rukunuddin Hamza, to convert the Indian king to reach a peaceful agreement. The envoy is described as a prominent dignitary in Tahul Ma'asir, a chronicle by Muslim pen Hassan Nizami, who conveyed Muiz ad-Din's communication to Prithviraj in a refined and graceful manner, using elegant language. Prithviraj refused to accept the Ghurid envoy's terms, which included converting to Islam and accepting Ghurid suzerainty, according to Hassan Nizami. The Ghurid crusade that led to the First Battle of Tarain may have begun in 1190, but the factual battle took place in the downtime of 1191 CE. Muiz Din's army captured the Tabarinda stronghold, presumably present-day Bathinda, eventually before 1191. According to Sir Hindi, eventually in 1191, Hijri time 587, Prithviraj marched against the Ghurid army with army, cavalry, and in giant force. Muiz ad-Din was about to leave Tabarinda when he learned of Prithviraj's approach. He also marched against Prithviraj, and the two armies met at Tarain. Prithviraj was accompanied by a number of feudatory autocrats, whom Manoj refers to as the entire Ranas of Hind. Govind Rai, the sovereign of Delhi, was one of these autocrats. Sir Hindi claims that Govind Rai Tomar, seated on a giant, was at the front lines, inferring that he was the commander-in-chief of Prithviraj's army. The Ghurid cavalry began the battle by launching arrows at the adversary's center. The Chahamana forces counter-attacked from three sides and dominated the battle, forcing the Ghurid army to withdraw. According to Sir Hindi, the Ghurid colors suffered defeat despite fighting courageously. When Muiz Din saw this, he charged against Govind Rai. According to Manoj, Muiz Din, who was riding a steed, attacked Govind Rai with a shaft, hitting his mouth and breaking two of his teeth. Govind Rai redressed with a pikestaff, oppressively injuring Muiz Din's arm. According to Manoj, Muiz Din would have failed or been captured if a young soldier hadn't led his horse to safety. The Ghurid troops were demoralized and defeated after his departure from the battleground. Muiz ad-Din left for Ghazni, leaving a garrison at Tabarinda before. Prithviraj besieged the stronghold and took it eventually before the Second Battle of Tarain. He didn't pursue the Ghurid army because he didn't want to foray a hostile home or misgaged Muiz ad-Din's ambition. Muhammad Ghori marched his troops into India and took control of the major stronghold of Bathinda. The loss of Bathinda inspired a response from the Delhi army. Prithviraj Chauhan rallied his abettors and led his army into battle against Muhammad Ghori. The battle began with a probing attack by Ghurid hunters, who scattered arrows across the Rajput formation. Prithviraj Chauhan incontinently combated with an each-out assault that caught the Ghurids off guard. They were strange with the Rajput style of combat, which favored close combat. To their credit, the Ghurid army held establishment against swells of dog faces, but the Rajput cavalry began to overpower the Ghurid hand. Muhammad Ghori realized that close-quarter fighting served the Rajputs greatly. Muhammad's forces broke species and fled, unfit to repel the pressure on their hand. The Ghurid raids into India did not end there, as Muhammad Ghori would return later, having learned his enemy's strengths and weaknesses and being wary of overlooking his opponents in battle. As the Second Battle of Tarain would demonstrate, Prithviraj Chauhan's failure to pursue and slay his rival and consolidate his frontiers would have disastrous consequences in Indian history.